The urban legends of cryptocurrency trading demystified. Now, this question came about in my in a suggested question and as a title for me to do and answer. I thought it would be very interesting because I know when I first started trading crypto, I thought there was a lot of mystery behind it, behind how to make profitable trades. I started trading about 5 plus years ago, back in 2019, and it was just completely new to me about seeing what's happening in these charts with technical analysis, with YouTubers telling me price predictions, and all this stuff that's happening. And that was a very interesting time because I didn't know anything about I knew very little about what's going on in the space, but I was very interested in learning about it. So I dove into technical analysis. I did that for, I mean, I'm still doing it now and just been getting better at it. But the mystery of making profitable trades kind of slowly went away as I learned how to use these indicators to make my own profitable trades, right? It's become a side income for a lot of times. And when the bull market comes back, it'll be more of a full-time income, right? So that's why I think it's very important to learn technical analysis. I think fundamentals are, they're kind of important, but when this market gets overheated and when it's about to move, or when it bottoms, I think that matters less. I think that matters a lot more with technicals, knowing when to buy or sell, especially during those bigger moves, right? Now, I also want to be talking about render in this video because I want to, illustrate some technical charts for you guys about how I see the market, right, and what has happened with render, USDT, since the last time we've talked about it. Okay, this is also very important because charting this market is a very important part of technical analysis. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into render here after I answer that question. If you guys have any questions about what I said, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. I will make sure to answer it for you guys verbally on the next video. Now this is render. Okay, let's take a look into the weekly time frame where I have pointed out a huge falling wedge pattern here that has been forming since March of last year. If you guys can see, this is the weekly time frame. It has been on this extensive downtrend. And if you guys held any altcoins from then until now, you guys know it was probably a very brutal time to hold altcoins. I would even compare it to the bear market that we've had back in 2022, right? It was brutal. There has been some pretty good rebounds, but overall, it was not a great time for altcoins. But I do think that we're gonna see some brighter days for altcoins very soon. Of course, that's just my opinion, and not financial advice. I do own quite a bit of the altcoins as well as Bitcoin. So my opinion on this market is bullish right now. But I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion and why. But what I'm seeing here for render is it's trying to get out of this falling wedge pattern. It's near the midsection of this pattern here. If it breaks out by this point, then the price target for render would be almost $20. Now, falling wedges, you guys should know, is that it more likely breaks to the upside. But there's still a smaller chance it breaks to the downside as well. I've seen that happen, so just something to be considering. And what I'm seeing here for render is that there was also a double bottom pattern, which is usually a bullish pattern as well on this weekly time frame with bullish divergence. And the neckline of this double bottom pattern would be about $5.60. Price target for this pattern here would be about $8.75. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more or less very much depends on the overall markets as well as Bitcoin in particular. That is still the driver of this market. I did a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. On the longer video, make sure to watch that. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what Bitcoin is doing. Because if Bitcoin dumps, then these altcoin setups are going to matter a lot less. All right, let's go ahead and go to a smaller time frame here and see if I can get any more clarity on what render is doing, and could it be continuing towards a breakout here. I mentioned there was a falling wedge pattern. Again, price target for this one would be about $4.90 almost. Render almost reached that price target before getting rejected, formed another falling wedge pattern, and then broke out of this one. Would be about $4.25 price targets. It is trying to get on top of some moving averages that's acting as resistance right now. Moving averages are also very important to be paying attention to because they could be resistance if above the price action, or support if below the price action. So it's trying to get on top of the daily 200 and the daily 21 SMA. Let's see if it could do that before continuing towards the next targets that we're seeing here. So this basically wraps it up for render. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing more of render by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.